What's up, my friends? Here's the deal. An obese male teenager just won a beauty pageant as a slender, beautiful woman. God is good, and 2 + 2 = 5, doesn't it? Come on, be inclusive. 5 is the same thing as 4. So, mind's blown once again, somehow not surprised by it. A transgender teenager named Brian, who suffers from obesity, I'm sure not his fault, but Brian says he's a woman. And Brian entered a beauty pageant, all women beauty pageant, and he won the objectively by far the most obese person, and I would also say objectively the most non-beautiful person. No, hey, just being objective, and also the least woman out of all the women in the women's beauty pageant. He won! That's amazing! A beautiful stride forward. Let's take a look at the crowning moment. Heartwarming. Wow. Wow. Oh my. Touching. What a beautiful stride forward for women's rights, where someone who's not a woman but says they're a woman enters the beauty pageant. And all these women in the beauty pageant, they simply weren't good enough. Women, if you're watching this, please take that message. You're not good enough as you are. So we want to strengthen women's rights by making sure you as women know that anything you can do, a man can clearly do it better. Less qualified to be in a beauty pageant, objectively. It has a big red flag, kind of is a man, but also he does it way better than you. Aside from everything that's wrong with this, just because you say you're a woman doesn't mean you are. Delusion has no correlation to truth. They're two different things. Also, mental illness and truth, two different things. Just because you hallucinate something and get yourself to believe something that you probably don't even believe deep down inside, that doesn't mean that's objective truth. But we live in this world where the more rageful you get, the mantra says your objective reality should be based on my imagination or else I'll get angry. So we see that here portrayed in a beauty pageant. Absolutely stepping all over women's empowerment, women's rights, women in general. A man comes in, the least beautiful person in this beauty pageant, and he wins. None of the women that you saw there, they did whatever a beauty pageant person does to prepare themselves, work hard for this, and just absolutely had their faces spat in. It's just really remarkable. And of course, we've seen, the college swimmer, the dude who now goes by Leah Thomas, obliterating women's rights, just like, yeah, look at that woman who used to be a man, well, still is, but he's way better than these women. Look, they swim way less fast. Screw them. Can we get more men in here? This makes swimming look way more interesting. It's just, this is happening, and it will continue to happen if we allow it. And I think we're in a place where we don't allow it. For the record, I'm all about whoever you are. If you want to pretend you're whatever you are, go ahead and pretend. That's part of freedom. You do you. I don't care how sane or how crazy you look. You do you. So as long as you doing you doesn't infringe on the rights of other people. And unfortunately, this infringes on the rights of women to have a fair and equal opportunity in a, drumroll, women's beauty pageant. We see the rights of children being infringed on. So women and children, unfortunately, are getting trampled when it comes to trans ideology. Now, just you want to be trans? Awesome. Don't compel anybody else's speech. That's a violation of someone else's rights. Don't take opportunities that are meant to be for women or meant to be for children. Biological children, biological women. It's weird that we even have to say that distinction. Aside from that, you do you. I fully support that. Whatever, you be yourself. But here we have someone being themselves. And you got to wonder, what were the judges thinking? Were they being political? Were they doing the biggest virtue signal of the weekend? Or were they sitting there saying, that obese guy, he really is way more beautiful. He is such a beautiful woman. These other women, who others would say are objectively beautiful, women are ugly. Yeah, the obese dude he's beautiful. It's a beauty pageant. If it was a virtue signaling pageant, that person probably should have won based on the judging criteria. But based on what I know of the judging criteria of a beauty pageant, it looks like this is a complete abomination of women's rights and truly is disempowering for women. Strong leftists, weak leftists, but are strong in their ideology. I don't know how they rectify this in their own minds. I don't even think they do think about it because their house of cards would fall down, because one of the agendas of leftism is women's rights. They do that in a propaganda way. I think people on the right are more genuine with, like, of course women should have rights and equal opportunities. Of course. Who the hell would argue with that? I don't know anybody that would. Some probably do, but they're probably pieces of garbage. But for them to say, their old thing was, women's rights, gender pay gap. And now they're like, oh yeah, but a guy can easily take opportunities from women, not even based on merit. A guy taking an opportunity from a woman when he's actually achieving and doing it based on merit, all about that. I'm also all about a woman taking an opportunity from a man when she's achieving better and has better merit. Awesome. But this isn't merit-based. It's hilarious. So with that, congratulations to Brian. You won the beauty pageant. I'm sure very fair and square. I hope you feel good about yourself. With that said, I hope you can be amused. I also hope you can be strengthened in your resolve for truth, because true freedom depends on truth. The purpose of showing this video was to stand up for truth. With that said, my beautiful friends, I'll see you next time. In the meantime, stay free.